Well, today, of course, is Friday the 13th, but there is every likelihood that your love life will be very unlucky if you forget tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Christmas and New Year's, of course, only about 6 weeks ago, and Valentine's is the ultimate Hallmark holiday. A little something to kind of lighten the mood as we trudge through the second half of winter. For retailers, though, it's traditionally been a pretty welcome event. Joining us tonight to talk about it, we are always happy to welcome our friend, retail analyst and author Bruce Winder. Thanks for joining us tonight, Bruce. Great to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
How important is Valentine's Day to businesses in 2026?
It's pretty important. I mean, every shopping event is important. It's, estimates are that it's about $1.5 to $2 billion in retail sales when you include everything from restaurants to chocolates to flowers to, other things. It's a really important, especially this time of year. There's not a lot going on in retail. So it's nice to get some cash flow through the till at this time of year.
A lot of us guys especially just assume, things like flowers and chocolates are the big sellers. Is that still true? Is this like their Super Bowl?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's really, flowers is really big. I think about 30% of people buy flowers. Chocolate is really the big one. I think about 60% of people buy chocolate. But also restaurants, too. Restaurants get a nice pass, too, on this. They get about 60% of people looking to dine out. So it's pretty good for those industries, spas sometimes, even hotels, if you have the money to get away for the weekend or something.
Do we know how much the typical Canadian spends for Valentine's Day? Do we track that?
Yeah, my understanding is it's about $180. That's an average. Averages can be a little deceiving. There's some people who do it up big, and there's some people who try to keep it tight, but about $180 is my understanding.
Is it men who spend more or women who spend more?
Yeah, it's definitely the men who are out there spending, trying to impress their loved one during this time of year.
And is Valentine's shopping more of an in-person event or an online event?
Yeah, it's a bit more in person just because of the restaurant thing, but people will buy online for some gifts. But a lot of times, I hate to say it, but you have guys running around at the last minute trying to get chocolates, trying to get flowers. So a lot of that is done in person.
You've mentioned restaurants a couple of times now. So, I mean, this is traditionally a pretty tough time to get a table, but this is a really big time for restaurants, I would imagine.
It is. It can really help restaurants. I mean, they might see an uplift of 40%, from a normal weekend or a normal day. And what some people do is they kind of go out on the Friday night, maybe the Sunday night, instead of just Saturday, because it is hard to get a table in this weekend on the Saturday night on the actual Valentine's Day. So you have the luxury of having it over a couple days, which kind of smooths things out at the restaurant level.
Do the restaurant chains or the standalone restaurants do better? Do you know?
Mostly the standalones, right? Because I think people want to go to something like a local fine dining restaurant. That's probably the companies that do a lot better. There's a lot of specials. A lot of local companies offer Valentine's Day specials, so you can get a set meal for a certain price. So yeah, it's more local.
And interesting well, we know that restaurants are spending a lot more on ingredients and staffing and everything else. So I assume that sort of really crowns the importance of this for them.
It does. I mean, they gear up, they hire extra people, they have special menus, special ingredients, usually premium ingredients, right? So, yeah, it's a really important spending event for restaurants, and they really need it right now. A lot of people are cutting back on restaurants because of food inflation. They're eating at home, so nice to see a little holiday for them, too.
Well, speaking of that, are you hearing of folks kind of looking for less expensive alternatives this time around because of the uncertainty in the economy?
I am hearing some rumbles about that. I mean, I think people are looking. Some people are looking to do it a little cheaper if they can. Some people might buy grocery food and make the meal at home for their loved one. Or they might just kind of channel down a bit with gifts, and sort of smaller packages of chocolate. Flowers might be something they can, eliminate because those are pretty expensive. So, yeah, you're going to see certain segment of the population sort of cut back where they can. But it really depends on their economic situation and how long they've been dating or how long they're married. I think, too.
I guess that's true. What's your advice then for folks who might be stressing about the financial aspect of Valentine's Day this year?
Well, I think don't put so much pressure on yourself. You don't have to spend 10 grand on Valentine's Day. You know, you can go out and get, a box of chocolates, go for a nice meal, but you don't have to drop $500, $1,000. Just do it within your budget. It's the thought that counts, and just spending time with someone and not forgetting, I think, are the key things here.
It's the thought that counts. I'm going to write that down and use that later, I think. Bruce, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me on.
Bruce Winder is a nationally known retail analyst and author, joining us tonight ahead of Valentine's Day, which is the focus of our CTV News web poll tonight. We're asking, who do you celebrate with on Valentine's Day? Here are your options. That special someone, my family, my friends, or I don't celebrate. CTVNewsAtlantic.ca. We want to hear from you. Stay with us. Be right back.